joined once again by Lisa Schermerhorn and Chris O'Connor. Boy, we're going to be talking about quantum consciousness and probably a little bit of secret space program. Chris has, done 3 20 and back, so he's got some interesting things. And they were just on a little road trip. And what do you talk about when you're on a road trip with you got a quantum consciousness expert and so it's 320 and back space program guy.
That was the best part. I don't think we had the radio on. Really,
No,
we didn't listen to any music, no books on tape. We literally talked for 4 days.
I'm sure other people would be driven completely nuts. But
Yeah, we drove from Colorado. So Chris just left Hawaii, got all his things in Colorado, and we drove to Vermont over 4 days. So it was actually really fun. I had been intimidated by the idea of driving cross country that far. And I was so surprised at how beautiful Nebraska and Iowa are, the rolling hills and cornfields. And it was just really, really fun.
Very cool. And you guys made a little excursion to Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
Nice.
Certainly did.
Yeah. So we decided, because Chris was driving most of it, and we were, about 8 or 9 hour days?
Yeah.
Yeah, about. And he's like, we're going to take a break and spend the afternoon at Niagara Falls. And we miscalculated how long it was going to take. So we had to get from Indiana. We left at like 5 o'clock
It was
in the
pretty
morning.
early, yeah.
And so to get there for a tour. And here's the interesting thing. I had booked a small tour online for 2 o'clock. We ended up with a private tour. It was just the 2 of us and a guide.
Wow.
I know.
Oh, cool.
And so that was really cool. But on top of it, I don't know if you want to talk about the experience of it being in the waterfalls, because there's a couple of different experiences that you have there.
Yeah, it was really fascinating. It was really great, Michael, because what it did is it opened up some memories. The power of the water.
Yeah.
Because we went, and it's called Cave of the Winds. You walk up these, stairs basically, and you're right almost under the fall.
Wow.
So a lot of the time it's so powerful. They say it's 70-mile-an-hour winds generated by the waterfall, and then that water comes straight at you. It doesn't fall on you; it comes straight at you.
Yeah, bring a change of clothes and make sure you have sandals.
Oh, for sure.
Super negative ion blast. That must have been awesome.
Absolutely. And so what it did is it reminded me of environmental pods that we had in the SSP. I don't know for sure they were MEMAs. I'm sure they probably were.
Just a
on
secret space program.
Secret space program. And it reminded me of those. And it just unlocked all these memories. And so that was really amazing, obviously, that I had all these memories coming through. I'm like, oh my God, we had these on, when we were there doing this. And because what it is they're frequencies. And, the frequencies of the water, and the frequencies of the gravity with the water, and of the winds, and of all this water hitting all these large boulders. So we had all these things going on. Because that also, large boulders, cliffs, it's an escarpment there. That's why it falls off the cliff. All of that generates scalar energy. And then it reminded me, it's like, no, these environmental pods that we simulated these situations. And we create scalar waves within these. So, frequency, or not frequency pods, environmental pods. So what you do is you go in there and, in the space program, we go in there and you could program. They're pre-programmed. You can choose your program. Like if you want to be in a thunderstorm, or if you want to be out in the ocean, or whatever you want. And so, 3/4 of the room is like an arched screen. So you can visually see it. You're in a pool of water, like a lap pool, and then there's all these environmental things that's created, like high winds and rain and all this stuff. And so, but then within all of that, because there's speakers and everything, within that are scalar waves, other waves as well. But that's, people are more familiar with scalar and Faro waves and Faro energies and stuff like that. So that it just totally opened up those memories for me. But then the other thing was, and what really helped me remember some things is because, ask Lisa, I was in so much pain I could barely walk.
Just to give you, a little background, he's had several accidents.
Yeah.
He had your toe amputated in February. He had 3 years of a major infection. So he gets drained, for his energy gets drained very easily, and suddenly he's just in so much pain.
Yeah, subluxated ribs, things like that. So it's a broken body, but it's still operating. So we're going up there, and the whole time it's just so painful for me because there's a lot of steps up to the waterfall. And I told the guide, I'm like, I'm not 100% sure I can even do this right now because I was in so much pain. He's like, well, just try it, And so I did, but when I got to the top of the waterfall where the water's coming straight at you, there was no pain. Everything was gone. And that's what unlocked the memory of these environmental pods that we had. I'm like, oh, I remember that now. I remember we'd go in there and it would be this amazing experience, and you leave and you're better, So that was cool.
And then I was comparing that to, for those people who know the story of Reiki, Yusui was in Japan and he was under a waterfall. And that's when he channeled in the information all about the symbols and all about Reiki.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, that's really interesting how the water and the pressure of that much water can really open things up and bring back memories.
Very cool. And, they have the statue of Nikola Tesla there at the falls. And then you can go a little bit further up for the falls, and you can see where the ruins of his generator in the water was as well. So the scalar waves, and a lot of that's attributed to Nikola Tesla. Yeah. Now, the Tartarian stuff is there big time. And they covered all that up. There was obviously they used that in the past as a generation, system. There was piping, huge piping, all kind of crazy stuff underground that they dug down, they found it, and then they covered it back up real quick.
Yeah, they claimed that someone tried to create their own system and it fell into the water. Remember that?
Oh, right.
Because you can see it's all built into the rock.
Wow.
And then they said, yeah, that was a failed private group that tried to create it. So the government had to take over and do it right. I was like, when's the last time you heard that one?
That's a good one. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, you must have really been tapping into all that. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it was a lot. Even though it's very touristy, and this was so funny because there were people from India everywhere. As a matter of fact, near the hotel, there were 3 Indian restaurants like next to each other. I'm like, what's up with this? And apparently they teach about Niagara Falls in India to the kids when they're growing up. So it becomes a destination for them. So everywhere we went, there were people from India. My majority of it, I think, just probably half and half with, Americans. Yeah.
It was really cool to see, that there's something positive about the United States that they came for.
Yeah. So that was a really cool experience. Plus if we hadn't had the private guide, we never would have been able to get through because of the pain. Our guide actually gave us a shortcut through so that we missed about 40 minutes of walking and things that we didn't really need to see. So we feel like Spirit really kind of lined everything up for us.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild.
That's interesting about the Indians because, they have that ancient text, the Mahabharata, and then even further back where they have spacecraft and all kind of crazy stuff. So that's interesting. They're still tapped into that. And they come there. So who knows, how big this worldwide system was that maybe they were tapped into. We've seen the Egyptian stuff, in the Grand Canyon. So that's cool that you guys are tapping into that. So very, very good.
So then that night, so we're in separate rooms, but we've had a lot of telepathy and a lot of really cool coincidence things that have happened. I was like, This is really interesting. So in the middle of the night, I wake up and I'm like, Chris is gone. He's not in his body. He's gone. And I literally, I don't know if it was astrally traveled, but I'm like, oh, no, you don't. I literally like grabbed him and pulled him back in his body. And I'm like, you're not leaving me with all your shit, your car and all your stuff that's coming in a week in pods. And he's like, I was having this dream and someone was talking to me. I'm like, yeah, it was me.
It's like, just imagine like a soul leaving the body and someone goes, and grab the you ain't going anywhere.
Get back here. Yeah, that's funny. So it's 1:11 here, so that's good time. So
yeah.
So he had a really interesting. You want to share your experience of leaving the body, actually?
Well, yeah, it was. I mean, I do a lot of astral projection. I do a lot of meditation and leaving and all that. This was very different, though, and it was just a few hours after the waterfall experience. And I was gone, I mean, like Lisa said, I experienced so much pain. I don't have like necessarily a whole long night's worth of sleep. And I remember being gone, and I remember all these charts being laid in front of me and the three earths that are actually happening all at once right now and how they're merging. And they were showing me all this stuff. And it was weeks and weeks of being in a classroom environment where they were teaching me all this stuff. And I knew most of it I wouldn't remember right away. It'll take some time. But a lot of it was really about the 3 timelines Earth is on right now. And how it is that, 2 separate timelines are coming together, and they explain that's what the Mandela effect is, because we keep jumping back and forth with 2 major timelines.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why some people remember one way and others remember it another way, and they're both correct.
Yeah.
But what's happening is that we're merging right now, and they were showing me how to do some of the thought, connecting with thought in meditation on which one you can move yourself from one timeline to another. So I thought that was pretty fascinating.
Well, it was also teaching you, wasn't it, to distinguish between the two?
Right.
Because you're on both simultaneously, and he was experiencing being in both timelines at once.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is where our conversations went on the road.
Yeah. 30 hours.
Like, wait, I need to pull over and focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple times she goes, just stop. Wait, hold on, just stop.
Exactly. Now you just missed the hurricane, right? So
yeah,
that's interesting. You just missed that crazy energy that hit that area.
Yeah.
You were on Oahu?
No, I was on Kauai.
Kauai, okay. Oh,
yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh,
and so you missed that, and you went to Colorado to get your stuff. Why did you feel like you needed to leave that area?
I don't know. Just listening to guidance.
Yeah, that's kind of the way we are too. It's like it's time to go. It's like
time to move. Yeah,
we thought we're going to be here for a while, but I guess not. So,
yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Don't really know why, but when you look back, you're okay.
Totally understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I try to tell people, don't get too hung up on your life as it is, and be willing to be malleable and follow spirit, follow guidance. It's like your heart always tells you the right choice.
Yeah, it's when we override it that it's the problem. And it was interesting because I met Chris at a conference in April in New York City. And it just so happened he was selling his book and I had my book sitting right next to him, and he's sitting there with this metal thing. And I'm like, what's that?
Oh, yeah.
I need to have me one of those. I don't know what it does, but I'm supposed to have one.
Spirit's calling.
Spirit's calling. I'm like, how much is that? And all these people are lined up to buy them. And it was really cool. And then he explained, I don't know if you want to tell the story of being on Mimas and
Well, yeah, basically, you know, in the space program, they use those. They don't call them deems, but theirs are electronic and programmable. They have computer chips and stuff in it. And the new ones, the ones that we just showed you, are they're fully magnetic, and there's no electronics in it whatsoever. And it will, in good condition, it will literally just sit there and work for years. You know, and that's what's so cool about it. And it's actually a slightly different formulation of the Ankh, the Egyptian Ankh, which just means handled cross. That's what the Ankh means. And so I kind of made it slightly different because that's what they had. So I wanted to kind of copy that, but I didn't want it to do anything that theirs did, which is transference of consciousness and transference of memory and such as that. So I just did mine in a way that it interacts with the body. It interacts in the electronics of the body and the nervous system, and it creates a piezoelectric energy that is within our nervous system. And then when you can interact with the nervous system, what happens is the body rapidly heals. Or if you're in pain, I can't tell you how many people come back and they tell me, like, I just stuck it there and pain was gone. And they're like, yeah, how does this work? I'm like, well.
Well, there's two different poles, right?
Yeah, there's a north and south pole of this top magnet. You know, in the gold one that Lisa, you have, one side's gold and the other side's silver. And the gold side is actually the northern pole. Now, the northern pole is the vortex. And that vortex penetrates the body. And in the silver ones, it's a red dot. So, you know, the red dot side, then that's the northern pole. And that's the part that it creates a vortex, you know, like 3 or 4 inches away from the deems. Like, hear me see.
Yeah.
Thank you. So there's magnets in here. And so it does a circuit. And then it wants to come up and around that top magnet. Well, this top magnet is polarized this direction. So as the energy comes up and around, it pushes out. So it creates a vortex. And then it also, this is how it wants to rest. On every deems wants to rest like this. But I twist it and put it in. And when you twist and go against a magnetic field, you create a piezoelectric energy. And that's the energy our bodies and nervous system uses. And so that's why it interacts so easily.
Yeah.
But it also balances chakras, and people do Reiki, love it. And, you know, anybody with pain or all that.
Yeah. I use it during the quantum healing that I do. I use it when I use my clients because I'm sending the energy. And the reason why I love this one is because I can send, and the gold one is slightly gentler energy. But I find that it communicates with me. Some people have that experience, but I was in Montreal and had left it home because I just didn't know if they were going to do something about at the border. You never know if they're going to take it. So I left it home and I was lying in bed and I got this message, connect to me. Because they create like a
magnetic field.
Magnetic field around you, a protective magnetic field around you when you sleep. I sleep with mine next to me.
I sleep with 2.
You sleep.
One on each side.
Yeah.
Well, I was sleeping with mine, but it got hijacked, and Tracy uses it every morning. So, but I get up and wind myself. So. I like all the different, stones that you can use, crystals. There's a whole box that you get with them, and it's absolutely amazing. All of them, I love them. Beautiful.
Yeah. So normal right now, at least for a while, the stones are currently separate. But because they, it's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and it's harder to get some of those stones right now. But yeah, I mean the stones that are there. I didn't believe any of this. I thought crystals were pretty and rocks looked cool, and then I started doing research, some of which was through our own government, and the whole government was just like, basically on the National Institute of Health, they're talking about how neodymium magnets heal body, heal certain types of cancer. This is on the government websites. And I'm like, why is nobody doing anything with it? And so, but what I learned was, so the DEEMS creates the frequency that it creates. It does its own thing. It'll never stop doing that. But the difference is that if you add some of the stones to it, the molecular structure of each stone or crystal changes the frequency of the energy vortex coming out. And then that way you can adjust it a little bit more. You don't need them at all, at all. I mean, you really don't. But, if you really know energy, it's good to be able to adjust the energy to certain things. Like, for example, in the space program, I'm a lapis lazuli. I'm within the range of what energies lapis create, like that one. So that's me.
I have it on my arm right now. It's great.
Yeah, we recently well, you can tell a story of Nate.
So I have a friend. So my garage is unfinished, and so I'm in the process of putting insulation in. And I have a friend who does spray insulation for a living. And he said to me, I'm trying to hire someone to actually spray for me because my shoulders are locked up from 20 years of doing the spray insulation, and my shoulders are killing me. And I said, I'll be right back. And I grabbed the DEEMS, and he put it on his shoulder while he was talking to me. And he was like, wait a minute, my shoulder doesn't hurt anymore. And he was blown away by it. And Barry was videotaping him and sending us all these videos on the road because he continued to try it. And yeah, he was really surprised. So, there's so many amazing products that are out there that help people. This I love because it works on the mental, emotional level as well. And I know for me, it's really helped me step in more confidence. Like, people around me have noticed that I speak up even more.
Yeah.
Poor thing. But it amplifies who you are. Like, it takes whatever gifts that you have and amplifies that. So to be able to use this for myself and for others, and here's something. I mean, I know my newborn granddaughter, she was 3 months old, and my daughter was saying how she had a cough when she was in labor, and the baby picked it up. And so she just had this dry cough that just wouldn't go away. I was visiting, and I took the DEEMS and I put it on her. I just got guided. I put it on her chest just for a couple seconds. I tapped both her feet before I left. And then I got a call from my daughter while I was driving back to Vermont. She's like, what did you do to her? I said, what? She just slept for 3 hours and her cough is gone. So it's been really cool experience.
And you should see some of the pictures of us, little tiny baby holding the DEEMS.
Holding the
as big as she is.
That's incredible.
And pets love it.
Yeah. Great. So what's the difference between the gold and the silver?
Well, the silver is nickel, technically. Okay. And it's just as powerful as the gold, but the silver is a little more harsh, a little bit more of a metallic energy. And the gold one is the same DEEMS, but they're electroplated in 24 karat gold. They both have 8 carats of microdiamonds in them, so they're all built exactly the same. But when you put gold, our human body loves gold. That's why we used to use it for teeth, gold tooth and gold in other ways. We can eat gold. So because the body loves gold. So what it does is it brings that metallic harshness, vibratorily speaking, it brings it down to a more human, frequency. So neither one's better than the other. They're just different. They're just as strong. One's softer, one is not.
I like to equate it. One is more male energy, like more direct, and the other one is more female. If I don't know if that makes sense. It's just a softer energy. But
I know some females that are pretty strong. I don't know about that, Lisa.
Oh my God. You can see how the car ride went.
30 hours. I'll say it again.
So, but I have to say, just a softer, more gentle energy.
The body, and that's why there are micro diamonds in it, because our body loves diamonds and gold, and that's a real thing. That's why they used to say, I don't know if they still do, that men or women live longer than men because they don't work as hard. And my first thought, no. And secondly, it's not that. It's just because women tend to wear more gold and diamonds.
Yep.
And then the frequency coming in, and that's why it's on the left hand. This is where the energy comes into the body. So if you have gold and diamonds on the left hand, you're supplying the whole body with that frequency, and that frequency is self-healing. So I always tell people, I fully advocate gold and diamonds.
Yeah.
I don't wear anything, but
Yeah, I used to.
So I replicated it with the beans.
Yeah. Yeah. It's it's really remarkable. I'm excited. And it's interesting because there are rare earth metals that go into making the magnets. And the only place up until recently was really China to get it.
Well, we would dig up our rare earth minerals and we would ship them in bulk to China, and they would make magnets and ship them back.
Wow.
Yeah. So we have one of the largest rare earth deposits here in Southern California.
It's interesting because it looks like the Trump administration, we were doing some research online, is really given some money to some companies to start producing them in the United States, because the tariffs for anything coming in for China now makes the all of the magnets and everything expensive. So that's been a challenge for Chris. He's trying to keep the pricing low.
Yeah. But not good that it's a challenge, but good that you're you're working on that, and hopefully I think it's going to happen, because President Trump is really looking at all the rare earth and precious minerals and so forth, silver and gold, all that, and pushing platinum, all of them, pushing for companies to invest and get those in America by importing them from around the world.
I mean, it's always good to be as self-sustaining as possible,
right?
No matter what, anyway, But yeah, as long as the companies are actually from here, because the ones I've been looking into are based in other countries, but they're opening manufacturing here. So it's the same thing to me. It's like, let's get it right the whole way, not just the end of the market.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. So what are you getting from like you said you're opening up, there was a portal that you opened up while you were there in Niagara Falls?
Yeah, it's really fascinating because I think we mentioned that I left the body that night already. And like I said, I was gone. I was somewhere else. And there's a good chance I wouldn't have come back, because I was just like, oh, this is where I need to be.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's why I was like, oh, no.
Wow. Good you tapped into that.
It woke me up. I'm like, he's not here. Like, I was like, he's not here. And I was like, I am not waking up to this.
Yeah, it would have been a bit of a mess, which I wouldn't have want to left. But You know, well, you could have everything.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like me, a nice car.
So we're talking about timeline jumping, and
Yeah.
I've noticed that as well. It seems like on several occasions there's going to be some type of massive earth change. I kind of am tapped into that pretty good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, here it comes. I'm going to get the shaking here pretty soon here in Nevada from California, and then it doesn't happen, and then it just goes away. And so I talked to James Gilliland, and he says that basically what we're doing is we're folding past different points that were going to be, very problematic for humanity. And what do you guys see about that?
Well, definitely the new earth that we used to call it growing up in church, or it's like, their interpretation was if you didn't quite do good enough to make it to heaven, you can stay on the new earth, and continue your journey, which is not that inaccurate. But what they were showing me, one of the many things they were showing me that they've opened up that I can share right now, is that there are two separate, three, but two primary earths at this time. One is more negative, one is more positive. And the new earth is going to separate, or the earth is going to separate energetically speaking.
Right.
And then it'll be more of a positive earth. So they're taking, like James said, they're taking, because this is what they also showed was these three lines. This is one, this is another, and this is both combined. And so as we go on, energetically, they're taking all the best parts of both timelines, and bringing it together in the middle. And that's the new earth. I mean, how exciting is that?
No kidding.
Well, and the other thing is, because he did the 20 and back, he went ahead. What is it, to 2030?
No, it was. I'm not 100% sure what the year was, but it was
pretty far out,
less than 100 years from now. And I got to see what Earth looked like. It's pretty spectacular.
Wow!
It's like the Federation in Star Trek, and so as time goes on right now, all the negative base souls, people are self-serving, all that, as they die off right now, they're not allowed to come back and incarnate on Earth. It's like a shut off now. It's over. Unless you're super powerful, super negative, they can still kind of come in and struggle, but that'll even stop. Wow. And so everybody incarnating right now is either a starseed from another place, or they're a positively oriented soul. So people ask me all the time when I tell them how beautiful the earth is in the future, like, are there no police force? There's no police force in the future. There's no need for it because everybody's of like mind. We have more of a telepathic connection. It's not intrusive, but you can speak to somebody without speaking to them. And so everybody's on that same level. And so nobody is trying to steal from you. Nobody's trying to hurt you. There's no crime because we just don't want to do it anymore. We're like, we're done with that. That's the past, so that's where we're headed. And that's within less than 100 years.
Wow. That totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was really excited. So he was having in that also his future self was coming back to him and having conversations with him as well. Oh, I got a high pitch ear. I don't know. I pitch sound in my ear also. I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's the other Chris screaming.
The other Chris yelling at me. No. But no, it's so interesting and hopeful, right? Because every time I see things that are going on in the world, I just say to myself, not on my timeline. Because we all need to keep our frequency high. And the higher it is, the faster it will happen. So don't get caught up in all the negativity and the fear-based stuff because that just drags us down.
Slows us.
It really slows us down.
Yeah.
So yes, you want to be aware of what's going on, but you also want to, my thing is not on my timeline, and I shut it off if something starts to get too dark.
Yeah, because if we focus on it, all the negative, all the, everything from politics to, crime, all these, if we can be aware of it, but if we get into it and we judge anybody else based on what their thinking is, we're the problem.
Oh, wow. Good point.
We're the ones doing it. No matter how good you are, we become the problem. And that's just important to be aware of, because then we begin to make different choices. And that's really what guidance, that's what our soul families, that's what everybody outside of our earth, that's what they're trying to teach us right now, is be loving and accepting and kind at all times.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's a great point. I've been trying to, express that quite a bit lately too, because and I've talked about this, maybe you guys have talked about this for a while as well. I'd say for the last 10 years, it's like our consciousness is starting to create faster and faster and faster and faster. Yes. So whatever you're focusing on, as we're raising in consciousness and, the quantum fields and so forth that we're becoming more immersed in and understand more, we're really starting to just really create on an incredible level. It's fascinating, it's fun, but it's also has its perils, especially if you're like you're talking about, Chris, if you focus on a negative, whether it's yourself or other people, you're starting to create that. And that's what the deep state and the dark side wants. They want us to focus on that negative. So that locks us into their timeline, because we're the creators.
We are the center of every one of our
to create. Yeah.
So it's like that they lie, the dark side lies about themselves all the time. Yeah. Like the soul trap they said was on the moon, that never existed. Because they want you to be afraid.
Right.
They were the ones saying it, not the good guys saying that, oh yeah, they have these soul traps. No, they're lying about themselves so that we will become afraid and become lost. Because when we leave the body, we either have a focus on who it is we're going to be seeing, and that's who you will see, or you won't know anything. And then they're susceptible, especially if you die in fear. If you die in fear, you're in the lower vibration, and so you're in the lower astral when you leave. So that's why they want you to remain in fear.
And the whole
they can get to you easier.
And the story about the white light, you're actually supposed to go to the white light, because they say the white light is part of the soul trap. That's not true. Yeah,
they're telling you to turn and go the other direction into the dark. Well, that's like the opposite of what we should do. That's why you have to just determine that somebody's going to be there that's already passed, that's already gone, that frequency-wise, so that when they show up for you, you know that it's them. It's not just somebody pretending to be. And that's it. Just don't ever be afraid. Just be part of the moment.
Yeah.
And feel the frequency of it. You can feel love. Trust me, the earth suppresses love. No matter how powerfully you've ever felt love in your life, you have not truly felt love. Because there are many beings, and this is where humans are going right now, is that we're finding that out. We're realizing that the frequency of love is where everything is. All good, beautiful, positive things. And then so the dark side tend to skip the love lessons, which is fourth density, and they jump into the fifth because they don't see need of kumbaya, sit around a campfire kind of love. I say it that way, but it's not exactly. So they tend to skip fourth density and go into fifth. And that's why I try to tell people, don't get confused, because another thing that the dark side did to confuse us and not understanding things is that the fourth density is the fifth dimension. So they changed the name of the density to another dimension, tried to confuse everybody, but just everybody know this: the fourth density is also the fifth dimension. It's the same thing. They're just two words for it. And the dimensions and densities are different, but that's a whole other story. But
it's in his book.
Yeah.
So what just came in, what I think that high pitched noise was, Sasquatch.
Oh, could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got a confirmation. So they wanted you to tell the story about yesterday when we were driving in Whitehall.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were driving through Whitehall, New York, and I'm like, oh my God, this is where there's like all these amazing reports of Sasquatch, and it's like some really very credible reports. And it turns out that there's like next month, right? Later,
in a couple weeks.
There's a whole Sasquatch convention in Whitehall, New York. Like, oh, I think we have to go there.
I know. So it's right near Lake George.
With a special appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was marked by Sasquatch some years ago, a few years ago. They had this certain symbol that they did, and they put it in my chest energetically.
Wow.
And they came walk right up and put it right in my chest and said, "This is to identify you in the future." I don't even know what they're talking about yet, but I know the image. Wow. So it's pretty cool.
So it was interesting. I don't know if you remember Kevin Hoyt talking about Southern Vermont. There was a whole area of state forest that was off limits, and he couldn't hunt there. And he was really angry, and he's like, there's some conspiracy, something's going on there. So Chris told me, because there's an area in Vermont that's actually been designated for the Sasquatch, and they don't let humans in there. And so I showed him on the map. He's like, yeah, that's it. That's why Kevin couldn't go hunting down there.
Yeah, there's a place in Georgia. There's a place in California, a couple places in California.
Yep.
Especially west of Mount Shasta. They've done scans, deep earth scans. One of them is a magma chamber, and they both look like a magma chamber. And one's an ancient magma chamber, but the second magma chamber is actually a 40,000 Sasquatch live in there.
Wow.
Yeah. Do you want to tell? There's 3 different types. This is what I got to learn on 30 Hours. Now you know where our conversations are going.
Yeah, all over the place. Well, yeah, there are 3 basic categories of Sasquatch. We'll get rid of the first one right away. The first one is a second density, non-corporeal form that lives within the earth. And they're a natural being. They're from Earth, and they're going to remain here and continue their journey. But what they can do, and this is where cattle mutilations come in, they can come to the surface, like in a soul form, right? People call them shadow walkers. They call them all sorts of things. They can take physical material and transmute it into a form. So what they do is they take a little bit of material from like cattle or other animals. Cattle are the most common because we notice those. Mm-hmm. And then they transmute that material into another shape and form. That's why people often say, in fact, even on the Skinwalker Ranch, there's a story about this literally giant wolf, big black wolf. They were shooting at it point blank, and it just stood there and looked at him, and flesh is falling off, and it turns around and walks away. And then they pick up this flesh, and it's rotted, and it literally just blew off seconds ago, because that was a non-corporeal form that it had created a physical form so it could walk on the surface of the earth and interact physically. They're into the vibration of fear. So they'll create a form that's frightening, and then they absorb that coming from humans, that fear. That's one form, but it could be any form. But people do see Sasquatch that are really frightening, and that's usually those. There's another one that's a second density, more animal, but they're fully physical. And that fully physical being, they're not as intelligent or nice as the third. The third are beings that blew up their own planet called Maldek. See, Mars is actually the moon of Maldek.
Wow.
So they blew themselves up, and then they blew the atmosphere away from Mars when the planet exploded. So what they did was they moved from living on what we now call Mars or Maldek. And so all the souls in this collective, and it's like, look at it like the human race. They all were so traumatized, they grouped together, they were terrified. It took 500,000 years to reach them. They were in this trauma. Of course, it's out of time, but it's like they went into the astral. So that's why I tell people we got to treat each other equally and in love, because we're responsible for every single thing everybody else does. Now, people don't like to hear it because it's pretty overwhelming. But when you're a race outside of the planet, in our case, Earth, they look at everybody as an Earth human, and you're responsible for all their actions. It was the same on their planet. So it's like it's a universal understanding. So then those beings, once they were able to get through the trauma, they came to Earth and used an available form, which was the second density Bigfoot that I mentioned a moment ago. But what they did is they're smarter than us. They were in the fourth density when they blew up Maldic. And so they brought all that knowledge, technology, and understanding and memory with them. Because in the fourth density, you're allowed to remember lifetimes. So that's why some people say that when I saw the Sasquatch, they had glowing red eyes, or sometimes yellow or orange. That's one of their abilities, is to turn lights on in their eyes. So that's the three types: the non-corporeal, the animal, and the highly intelligent.
So what do you do if you come across one of the animal ones?
There's a good chance they're not going to do anything. They'll just stand there and stare at you and, wait for you to turn and walk away. They'll drive you out. They don't want you anywhere near them.
Yeah.
But,
so there's nothing to be afraid of, like them attacking.
Generally, no, but it's just like human beings.
Yeah.
They have the freedom of choice also. If they wanted to attack you, they will. But if you see the glowing eyes, you don't have to be afraid that they're going to harm you. You have to be afraid that they can read your mind. And they'll know what you're about ready to do. And you just gotta stay calm and send love and hey, sorry.
That's the way I experienced them in the there's an area here in Lake Tahoe. It's called Desolation Wilderness. And I would hike by myself quite often, sometimes with other people, but normally by myself. And I'd communicate with them, and they had this like crazy bird whistle, because that's, they can mimic things or create, sounds and so forth. So they would have this specific type of bird type whistle when they wanted, to connect with me. And so I would always be sending them love. It was like, I know you guys are out here, so I send them love.
Yeah.
And then I'd hear the whistle, and I was like, oh, there you are. They would sometimes follow me all the way back, I guess, shadowing me for whatever reason, all the way back to the point where I'm coming back into the regular, where homes and everything were. But same thing up in, we were just at James Gilliland's ranch in Washington State. And there's one out there that, he sounds like an owl.
Yes.
And it's like, but it's not an owl, I've heard a lot of owls. So he's like, they like to let you know that they're there, and
they would like to communicate.
You're a good soul, they'll communicate with you.
Yeah. And the thing is that, I ever since I was a little tiny kid in the California mountains, I would be walking in the woods, and I actually saw a baby one. I chased him up a tree because I'm like, oh, a monkey, I'm going to go say hi, as a little kid. Of course, I ended up 100 and some feet tall up in the air, and everybody was freaking out. But I'll be walking, and I can feel like this tingle come up the spine, up to the base of the skull, and I'm like, oh, somebody's here. You can just, they're there. And their language is really fascinating. They do these quick little whistles, like you're saying, like a little, whip, kind of whistles. That's for each other. And also for you, but there are there's certain types of communication also that they do. And one of it is they'll put their hands to the side like this with their palms open facing you. And it's an invitation. If you're, because they don't want to frighten you, so they won't come close right away.
Right.
But if you relax, they can feel that, then they may come closer. They also have another communication. It's like this weird thing going down their face. And they're like, that I'm not 100% sure what that one is, but it's they want to communicate. That's what they're saying is, let's communicate. And they have this language. It sounds like the closest thing I can relate it to is if somebody just past your hearing almost is speaking Japanese. You can sort of hear it. You can't. You cannot. You think you know what they're saying, but you don't. And they're just like, it's like you know, that kind of stuff. But you can barely hear it, and you're like, am I crazy? There's people in the woods speaking Japanese. No, it's the Sasquatch.
Yeah, I've had a guy on my show that he connects with a group of them up in Washington State, and so he goes up there, communicates with them, and they don't let anybody in, but I guess he sees them. They come and visit him and so forth. He's got some really cool stories.
Yeah, it's extremely rare, and this is when people become injured. And they interact in negative ways, because it's like if you walk into somebody's house and pick up their baby or something, they're going to be like, "You're going problem."
Yeah.
And that's what they're saying is just back off. And that's what those communications with trees and X's, and all these other one tree jammed into another one. It's them saying this is our border, and enter at your own risk.
Yeah, and then you have the Dogman as well. So I've never encountered the Dogman, but I've heard a lot of stories about them.
I haven't encountered one either.
Yeah.
But they're, historically they came from the island of island chain, west of Spain, the Canary Islands. That's where they originated.
Oh, wow.
That was a long time ago, but they also are in Malta as well.
Yep.
But now they're pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, they're in a lot of the national parks now, and they're breeding programs, military use, and all kind of crazy stuff these days. So Sasquatch has been able to stay away from those programs, and like you're saying, they're so connected with the I guess the upscale type that they have reservation areas that no one is supposed to go in there, and they protect them, I think, or the Sasquatch protect those areas.
Well, they protect a lot of us. We just don't know they're doing it.
Yeah.
Like when they're escorting you out of the woods.
Yeah.
They're protecting you.
That's what I felt. Yeah. I was like, I'm like a Navy SEAL dude. You don't need to protect me, but for whatever reason, there were some kind of energies. they were protecting me. It was pretty cool.
Often there are, even cougars and bears and things that they know about because they're scent. Sasquatch scent. All these animals know it, and they will just scatter. So they'll walk with you, make sure you're safe.
Could have been some type of wild animal that might have been stalking me. So yeah, I never even thought about that, but that makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah, because I've had that on a couple different occasions. I knew that wild animals were there. I've got a spirit animal, panther, that has protected me when I was on the Pacific Crest Trail one time from a cougar that was getting ready to pounce on me. So yeah, it's interesting, all these different levels of dimensional consciousness that some of us can tap into. Both of you, the three of us, we all have books. Lisa, your book.
Yeah, you're both part of it.
I know. International bestseller, all three of us. Yeah.
Yeah, all three of us are in it.
Yeah.
It took 3 tries. We made the font bigger so for any of you who got the original font, it came in. I'm like, I can't read this. I can't read it. It was too small. So yeah, I had it made bigger so those of you who are interested. There's 36 authors and some really amazing stories. And on the website, you can right there. These are all Dr. Joe Vitale's in it, Carrie Madej, Jennifer Allen, Tom Malthouse, who did the original screenplay for The Matrix, Laura Eisenhower. So it's a really diverse, interesting group of people who speak to animals and plants, to tarot to energy work to oh, and this is, you see Z on the bottom. She's amazing, and
yeah, this is a funny.
this is a really cool story.
There are certain people I remember from being in off planet in the space program, and she's one of them.
Really?
And I didn't even recognize her for a while, and then we're on a video, the three of us conference, and suddenly it was like two images coming together, and boom! I'm like, oh my God, it's you! Yeah. And I'm like, wow, yeah, hi.
What did you connect with her on?
She was part of my team when I was
on Mimas
on Saturn's station. You know, and there's two young women that I have met that were on that same little like 5-person team. And just suddenly I'm like, oh, I totally know who you are. You know, and then I mentioned a couple things and she responded and I'm like, yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
It was funny because when we did the book launch, they were both on it. And so Z recognized Chris, but he didn't see her. So when we got on the call, the two of them recognized each other. I started crying. It was really cool to see that reunion.
Oh.
Excuse me.
Totally unexpected.
Totally unexpected. So yeah, there's some really interesting people in this book. You'll find all kinds of stories. And Honey C. Golden, who's my partner, do the quantum healing once a month. The next one is this Thursday on, is that the 20th, I think? 20th, Thursday. Yeah, at 12 o'clock Eastern and 4 o'clock. We do 2.
Okay.
And it's amazing the things that have happened to people, how they've really had some tremendous healings. You've been part of it several times, so you've seen the healing that happened there. So we just love being a start. It's only $44. It's a subscription, so you can you subscribe. If you don't like it, you just unsubscribe. It's no big deal. But each month, each healing, you just pick one thing that you want to work on. Mm-hmm. And then if you want to do 2 in one day, you can work on 2, but it's still the same price. It's $44 a month. We have videos in the library. There's a lot of really great information in the library for people. And and we also have a Signal chat where we have support. I don't know if you remember Liz Perkins. She's a friend of mine. We actually saw her yesterday. She was part of the MK Ultra program, and her grandfather was a 32nd degree Mason, and she's an amazing healer. She speaks to plants, and she's got her master's degree in botany, and she's there. She monitors the chat, and she's quite knowledgeable in herbs and ways to help people. So between the three of us, we have a lot of fun and help a lot of people.
Oh, very good. Yeah, those quantum healings are spectacular. I do like to do those when I can break free and do them. So we're like taking my car in on Thursday. So I don't know if we're going to be able to make that one, but hopefully. Well,
you can always hop into the recordings are just as powerful. Mm-hmm. So that one is balancingbodyandsoul.com, and you can go in there, or I think you can also through my website, lisamindset.com, you can sign up there. Or people can email me if they can't find it, and I'll send them the link.
Excellent. So we got both your guys' links in the description box. Deems Device at gmail.com and www.deemscompany.com, and Lisa Schermerhorn. We have your information, coaching and so forth, and balancing body and soul. Link for the quantum meditation. So any last words?
You know what? I just say, just send love. When you hear like bad things that are happening in the world, just kind of rise above it and don't get sucked in, and try and keep your energy as high as possible. And I just say not on my timeline because I'm going on that other Earth.
Yeah. Yeah. We to both, but
Yeah.
we want to be on the good one.
No doubt.
Positive. It's a more of a vibration, is what it is. It's not like, it's not terrible.
Because here's the thing: some of those things may actually happen, but if you raise your frequency, you're not going to be on the Earth where that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So just because, like right now, while we're in the process of the bifurcation, you can still see what's going on in the other Earth. That doesn't mean that you're going to experience it.
It's like watching a monitor, and there's certain things you're interested in, and it just makes sure, okay, I can observe this, but I'm not going to buy it, and I'm not going to connect to it. I'm not going to get upset about it, because then you connect to the negative one, and then you're feeding that one and not the one that you probably don't want to, be doing that. And, but yeah, so it's just amazing, like Lisa said, it's, we are the creators of this existence, every single one of us. And whatever we focus on, this is why I tell people, okay, Chris, how can I raise my frequency and communicate with guidance and, aliens or whatever? Like, well, the very first thing you got to do is stop watching the news, because it's so many lies.
Yeah.
What you do is you just go and watch little clips on YouTube or something just to be informed about things, but then let it go. Stop internalizing it, because that is intentional. That's a programming that they're programming.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was even in it for many years. I would just be so upset about things. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is wrong. I'm buying into it. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to be a part of the problem. I want to be the solution.
Yeah, that's so makes sense about
He's pushing. He's making my desk go up and down.
I'm like a little kid. I just go.
Very good. Very good. All right, guys. Great show again, as always. And, be there for the meditation on Thursday. It's going to be great. And, thanks for.
If you're interested in the Deems, by the way, you can order them. They'll be back ordered a couple months, but just know you'll get them. It's just they're going to be in production again.
Yeah, each one's handmade, so it takes a while. But Michael, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here today.
Yeah. It's an honor to have you guys, both of you guys on. It's just great. Great insights. I love the insight on the the two different timelines. Totally makes sense to me now, because I see both of them as well.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how does this resolve? We got to go through all this crap and then get the good Earth. But no, we just start to form it.
We're forming it right now.
Yeah.